Pam from Crochelina.com, and I'm so excited today because we're going to make flower bouquets. And I don't know why I never thought of this before. I'm all in the flower theme right now, and someone brought over a flower bouquet, and I thought, gosh, why not? Like, I'm always making flowers. Why not turn them into a bouquet? And I tried doing the entire thing in crochet, and it's just not as nice as using some wire and floral tape. But I think they look so much better than the fake flowers you can get in the craft store, and a lot less expensive than constantly bringing in flower bouquets to your home. And they're bright. You can make them whatever color you want. You can make them whimsical, tie-dye them, you know, stuff you can't find in the wild, just any colors you like. You can add fabric flowers, you can mix and match, put some ribbon in it. It's really limitless. So I'm going to show you how I made my flower bouquet, and it really didn't take all that much crocheting. You just do a flower, and then this green part in the back, which is called a sepum, I believe, and 2 leaves. For this one I made, you can have 1 leaf, doesn't matter. And I'm going to post in the blog some just quick patterns, how I do my 3-minute leaves, how to do a sepum, and how you can make them bigger or smaller. And I'm going to post a rose pattern, just a basic rose pattern. If you've never done a rose, these are made long, like just wavy, and then they're wrapped. So you'll see in the video how I sew my roses. And then also how to use a flat flower like this and turn it into a bouquet. So let me tell you what materials we're going to use. First, what you're going to need to buy from the craft store. I've got, this is 18 gauge stem wire, and this comes, like for example, this had 20 pieces, and it doesn't matter what color it is because you're not going to see it. I have floral tape, this is 60 inches, and I got some fake foliage just to stuff around my flower bouquet. You don't need it. If you like it without fake foliage, that's fine. I just wanted to change it up a bit. And all of this I got from Joanne just for 12 bucks. So like the tape is never ending. Each flower needs, you know, maximum 1 wire. This one had 20 pieces, so you're talking 20 flowers. Or if you want short flower bouquet, you know, you could double it up. 40 flowers. It's really nothing. You're also going to need nippers for cutting the wire, and pliers that have bumps on them. And I recommend bumps because if it's pliers that doesn't have it, it's just flat, your wire's just going to slip around. And you need this to kind of crush the wire together, which it's hard to do with your fingers unless you have super strong fingers. So, if you're ready to make some flower bouquets, let's get started. I've got some flowers here that I'm going to be working on, and I've got flat flowers and I've got wrapped flowers. And these wrapped flowers are usually for roses or anything where you want to see the petals wrapped in the middle. So if you are only wanting to make a bouquet out of flat flowers, then you can skip ahead to wiring and taping. And I've got leaves here, and these are called sepals that go under the flower. See, I've got one here. I'm going to show you how to attach these and how you attach the wire to the leaves. And if you're interested in some patterns for doing wrapped flowers, if you've never done them before, I'll post a couple on my blog so you can try them out and see if you like them. So I'm just going to go through and sew my wraps together, my wrapped flowers, and so you can see how it's done. And I'll just fast forward through it because they're all pretty much the same regardless of what shape the petals are. Okay? Now that we have our flowers done, we're ready to put in the wire. So let me show you how we do that. First, we get the wire and we slip it through a couple stitches in the middle of the flower. Okay, that's about enough. And then if you want a really long flower, then you only need to bend it with just a little bit of support so that you have it double for a little bit, that you can wrap it instead of folding it in half. See? You want to try and get it squeezed pretty tight. Use some pliers, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to do another one. Let's do a flat flower. Just have to wiggle it a little bit. So for the next part, we are going to sew on the sepals. Now, some people will just hot glue them on, but I prefer sewing them on just because I have more control over the look, and if I don't like it, I can just take off the yarn. So first what you're going to do is you're going to get the wrong side and stick it through the wire. And have about, one stitch. You stick both ends of the wire through, one stitch between them in the middle, just like this. Then you're ready to sew it on, and it doesn't have to be sewn on like that great, just enough for it to not move. So there, that's what it looks like, sewing in your sepal and with your wire coming through. And you can have it go through the center. For some reason I didn't have it go through the center, but it's going to be taped up here so you won't notice. So I showed you already how to sew on a sepal. Now I'm going to show you how to just hot glue it on. So I've poked it through my wire, and I haven't secured it in any other way, but we still have to deal with this end, right? So you don't want it to get loose, your stitch, so just secure it by doing a few, sew it a couple times, and then you can just get it there in the middle. Leave a bit extra so it doesn't come out, and just tuck it in.
And now we're ready to use the hot glue gun. So just kind of eyeball it where you want it, and I'd put one dot in each of the corners. So over here, put a little over here. This is much faster if you're, trying to do this for an order, trying to sell them. You don't want to worry about sewing them in place. And this is secure enough if you're going to do a large bouquet, or you just don't like sewing. This is definitely a way you can use to secure it. There. And that's what it looks like. And it's just fine. I've already made one of these flowers, and this wire is so long that I'm just going to cut it to the same height, and then I'm going to show you how to put wire in your leaves. So I've got a leaf right here with the wire, and here's one without the wire. So you want to make the wire long enough that you can fold it and still have some to wrap. So this is about long enough, and I like to keep the string on the ends, and then I'm just going to wrap the yarn under the tape with the wire. So what I do is I turn it to its back side, and I put it through about 3 to 4 stitches, sometimes in both sides, down the spine. And then I fold over just enough to keep it from moving. And again, I'm going to use the pliers. I think the pliers are more important to use on the leaves so they don't have too much play. Okay, so now it's a little less wiggly. So that's how you get the wire on your leaf. Now I'm going to show you how to tape leaves to your flower. So we just finished this rose, and now it's ready for taping. So first we're going to start taping from the stem, and then I'm going to add these 2 leaves to it at the bottom. So this tape is actually not very sticky. It doesn't feel sticky at all, but when you're working with it you'll find a residue on your hands. So there is some sort of glue on it, just not very much. So when you're wrapping it at the top, you really need to hold it in place or it's just going to come off. Like, do a few wraps and then squish it together with your fingers to get it to stick a little better. So I've done a few wraps. I'm squishing it with my hands. It feels pretty stable. And this tape is a little bit stretchy, so when you're wrapping it downwards, you want to pull it at an angle and pull it a little bit tight. Hold your wire together and just keep turning it, and it'll go down little by little until the point where you want to add your leaf. So I'd say this is a good point for me. So I get my leaf with the wire, and I'm just going to hold it up against it right there. And then I'm going to continue wrapping. Now you just want to do 2 or 3 wraps, and then make sure that the placement is right, that you're covering. You should push down your wire so you can cover it with the tape. That looks good to me. So I'm going to keep going. A few more wraps. Pull tight so it's secure. And then at this time you can see I've got 3 wires. That's a bit much right now if I want to add another leaf. So I'm going to cut it so that I can wrap a little bit. I'm going to cut one of them so I can wrap a little bit and it won't be too thick when I add my next leaf. About here. And even you could cut, you could cut off this other one too. Doesn't really serve much of a purpose right now. Okay, so I'm going to attach this right here. And I'm going to wrap. Again, you want to hold the ends of the yarn and the wire secure. It's going to feel a little bit like juggling. Pull it tight for a couple wraps, and then make sure that you have, maybe you want to move it over a little bit. It's not too secure right now because you've only wrapped it twice. Fix your leaves where you want them, and then continue. You can probably cut the yarn now. And now you're just going to keep twisting it while you're pulling tension on the tape until you get down to the bottom, however tall, whatever length you want for your flower. You're just going to keep letting the tape go down, and then you'll just cut the tape and you'll be done. And I think this is as long as I want it. I'm going to cut it and cut off the tape, and then just wrap it so that the end doesn't poke anyone. And you're done. Here's my fast method of making leaves. All you do is you make your knot, your slip knot, and then you chain 10. Then I go into the back loops of the chains. So in the second from the hook, I do a slip stitch, and then a single crochet in the next, and then a half double crochet in the next, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So 1, and then in the next I do another double crochet, and then in the next 4 stitches I'm going to do a triple crochet into each of the chains, and this creates the shape of a leaf. Alright, so I've done into each chain across, and then I'm going to chain 2 and slip stitch into that last chain again, chain 2, and repeat the stitches backwards. So I'm going to do a triple crochet into this same chain right on top of the triple crochet from the last row. Then I'm going to do another 3, so 1 into each of the triple crochets. And you do not have to work over your ends, because you can just sew them through to the back of the leaf, because that's where you tuck them in with the wire. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 triples, then I'm going to do 2 doubles, one half, 1 single crochet, and then a slip stitch, and I'm done. That's your leaf. Leave enough of a tail that when you sew it through the back of the spine, it'll come out here and you'll have enough to wrap around your wire. So what if you want to take 2 or 3 flowers and connect them together in the middle so that you have like 1 large stem at the bottom and then 3 little stems branching off? Well, I started these 3. I did the tape and I just cut these 2, and this one I still have the tape on it. And you just do as much tape as you want for the offshoot branch, and then position it where you want it, and then you'll just wrap them all together. So that looks okay to me. So I'm gonna start, probably easier to wrap 2 together first and then attach the 3rd one. I just did 3 wraps. Now I'm going to attach this one. Let's see, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. Whatever looks good. And now I'm going to wrap all 3 together. Oh, and if your tape gets cut because you're pulling too hard, it doesn't matter. Just go over it again. Alright. Make sure that when you're twisting it, you're squeezing the wires together and pulling the tape at the same time so that it gets stuck really nicely. So I want this to be the same size as my blue rose, so I just have a little bit further to go, and then I will cut them. There we go. And the great thing about this is you can shape them however you want in a bouquet, and they look natural.
I hope you liked this video tutorial, and don't forget to click on my blog post. I posted the link below, and you can get all of the free patterns of the flowers and the sepum and the leaves and some more information about how to do your flower bouquets. And if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, because next tutorial we're going to be making giant flower hot pads, because I need some and why not? So we'll work on that next time. And you can use these giant flowers for anything, covering pillows, making a little purse. So it's really versatile, so don't miss it. So I'll see you next time.